All right, so if you follow me on Twitter and, especially Letterboxd, you know that I am at TIFF right now. Not physically, digitally. Kind of sucks, but whatever. And I watched The Power of the Dog. So if you follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd, you know that I kind of put out a first reaction tweet and I rated it on Letterboxd. I did that kind of right after I watched it, almost like on purpose, because I know a movie like this, the more you sit with it, the more your thoughts can kind of change for the better or for worse. So I did that on purpose. I just kind of put it out there and I just let it sit in my head. As someone that was nice enough to point that out, I should let it marinate, and I let it marinate. So I've been marinating for a little bit now. I watched the movie yesterday and my thoughts have changed a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit in a good way. So let's talk about it. And we're going to talk about the Oscars in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. But in terms of The Power of the Dog, I really liked it. I did really like it. So I'm just going to say my Letterboxd score initially was 3.5 stars. I know some people look at that and they're like, oh my gosh, he gave it a 7 out of 10. He does not like this movie. I don't know how you guys think of it, because I know the math makes sense, right? Like 3 stars is a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 sounds really bad to me, but 3 out of 5 stars sounds like it's decent. So for me on Letterboxd, 3 stars and up, I would give it a thumbs up. If you ask me, is it a fresh tomato or rotten? If I give it 3 stars, I'd probably give it a fresh. Okay. And I just have to say this because sometimes I find myself doing it, especially with the movie like The Power of the Dog, where it's like this huge Oscar contender and a lot of people are talking it up. And this goes for any movie, but especially stuff like this. Don't force yourself to like it. Okay. Don't force yourself to like it. If you find yourself forcing yourself to like it, you probably don't that much. That's not how I feel about this. Okay. That's not how I feel, because I liked it. I liked it after the first watch. But just in general, you don't force yourself to like a movie, okay? That's just what I want to say, and sometimes I have to tell myself that too. But for this case, The Power of the Dog, this is probably like the top 2 best directed movie I've seen this year, probably up there with like The Green Knight for me. You can really feel Jane Campion's I don't know, you can tell that there's like someone fucking really competent but behind the camera. She kind of knows what she's doing. She's going at the pace she wants. She will not show anything until she wants to show it. I don't know. I got that vibe from it. And that is probably the biggest takeaway I had from it, along with the performances. And we will talk about those in a second. But with The Power of the Dog, overall as a story, I did not read the book. As you guys who follow me know, I haven't read for fun since like 6th grade. So I did not read the book. No idea what to expect going into it. All I kind of expected, based off of people's tweets and the teaser trailer, was I expected Benedict Cumberbatch to be kind of evil. And as a story, I found it pretty enthralling throughout. And I will talk about my issue with The Power of the Dog in a little bit, but especially sitting with it a little bit more, it starts to make more sense to me. Because if you were on Twitter when The Power of the Dog first came out, you saw a lot of mixed tweets and a lot of people saying general audiences will not like this movie. And I can see why. It is a pretty slow-paced movie. It is, I hate using the term that everyone uses, but it's true. It is a slow burn. I would probably not recommend this to my friends. If we're having a movie night, I probably wouldn't be like, hey, let's watch The Power of the Dog, because they'll end up hating me. But the pace it's going just makes sense to me. It does. What this story eventually unfolded to be, I felt like that's kind of what it needed to be, you know? And listen, I'll admit, especially at home, I can struggle a bit with a slower paced movie or a really long movie. This isn't really that long, but especially a slower paced one. But for some reason, I was kind of locked in. I'm kind of proud of myself. I was kind of locked in. And probably the main reason I was locked in is because this is probably Benedict Cumberbatch's best performance. I know I've seen some people say he was miscast here, and I saw someone throw out that this should have been Michael Fassbender's role. That would have been fucking awesome. I fucking love Michael Fassbender. But Benedict Cumberbatch was fucking good in this. Definitely one of the best performances of the year. I would be so upset if he was not nominated for an Oscar, because he should get it. The nomination, at least. I haven't seen King Richard, but he should get the nomination at least. And I think Benedict Cumberbatch is not underrated because he's literally Doctor Strange and he's so fucking famous, but almost like underused because he plays a similar role in a lot of shit, and he's fucking good at it, and that's why I think he's awesome. Except for maybe like the Mauritanian, sorry. But this one is a very different performance than what I expected going into it. The way people were talking made it feel like he was gonna, this character of Phil that he plays, was gonna go on like some fucking Joker rampage or something. Just the way people were talking about it, as someone who hasn't read the book, once again, I was just expecting like, oh, this guy is just like a crazy evil person who's gonna snap and cause terror and everything. And it's not exactly in that way. Benedict Cumberbatch is fucking kind of frightening in this movie. He is fucking frightening, and it comes like out of the screen, and you're like, oh my god, I don't fuck with this guy. I'm kind of scared of him, and that's perfect. But it also is a much more like understated performance than I would have expected. Yeah, he has times when he snaps, but it is mostly him understated, and it is fucking impressive. Probably the best performance of his career. Kirsten Dunst, fucking cast perfectly, I guess. I mean, she is like exactly what you need from that character. What that character is going for, she just brings it. So she'll probably get nominated for an Oscar, I would assume. But this cast overall is like to a T. Jesse Plemons, who you should probably take off your supporting actor list, but even still, he is cast like perfectly for that character. Cody Smith-McPhee, perfect casting. Thomasin McKenzie, who's in it for like 3 scenes. It was just lovely to see her face. Just when I saw her face, like I just like lit up. I was like, holy shit, that's a nice thing to see right there. So if you followed me on Letterboxd, you saw that I gave it 3.5 stars initially. Means in my eyes that I liked it, but I know in the Discord people are like, oh great, he didn't really like it that much. I don't view it that way, but you know, point taken. My rating has changed on that, as I'll get to, but something about this movie when it ended just did not feel complete to me. Maybe it is because I just haven't read the book, or I didn't know where I was going. I don't know the differences. I'm not like emotionally attached to a book like that. But something about it when it ended just didn't fully like complete me. Something about it felt kind of off, and it was really hard for me to put my finger on it, because I don't know if it is the ending, which I know a lot of people have pointed out will probably be pretty divisive. Maybe it just is the ending. Maybe it's something else, but something about this one just didn't fully like come together in this beautiful, harmonious way, right? I don't know. I'm kind of talking out my ass here, but I just felt that way when it ended. And maybe it is due to the slower pace, which, you know, maybe some of this could have been cut down a little bit, and I fucking hate when people say that, but maybe, you know, people say that for a reason. And I could see it being chopped down a little bit, and it probably still would have worked. That's just how I feel there. I feel like I'm not with any particular group, because I've seen some people who just fully reject this movie and say like, this is not good, no character development, it's boring, it's long, it does nothing for me. And I've seen other people just be like, this is a fucking masterpiece, this is the best movie of the year. I don't really align with either of those groups. But that's just me, I guess. This is a very interesting movie. Because even it's hard for me to really be like, this is my problem with this movie. It's hard for me to pinpoint, this is my problem with it. But something about it is just not fully there in my head. Even with that being said, and once again, we're going to talk about the Oscars like right now, especially the technical aspects of this movie, which just continue to push it over for me. I've changed my rating from 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm going to go ahead and give The Power of the Dog 4 stars. I really like it. And 4 stars. There you go. I'll admit, I like The Green Knight more. Not that I'm trying to compare these two, but just in my head, I like The Green Knight more. But The Power of the Dog, pretty fucking good. Let's talk about Oscars here. So I've seen some people on Twitter say they're a little bit more skeptical of this movie's Best Picture chances, and maybe all around support now that they've seen the movie. And I certainly get that sentiment. It certainly would not be my number one anymore for picture, director, anything like that. But I can't imagine in a field of 10 that this misses out on a Best Picture nomination. I think it has too much going for it that it would miss. So I don't even feel that scared about it like getting snubbed. So I still got it in picture. It is certainly not number one. I don't even know if it would be in my top 5 anymore, maybe, just based on what I have and haven't seen. But It would not be number one, but I can't imagine this misses out on picture. And we'll have to see, because like other people have pointed out, this isn't exactly the most accessible movie. It's not the most entertaining movie where you're just like fully, it's kind of like skipping like this. And that can hurt your chances with the Oscars. It just can. Mank got in last year. I know it was a weird year, and there's 8 that still got in. And then you can point to, oh, that was about old Hollywood. So even though it wasn't that accessible, a lot of people still fucking loved it. This one is a little different. Whatever. I think it gets in the picture. What about director? I still have Jane Campion in. That is mostly because I still have not seen much else, but also this director still kind of makes sense for this movie. So I'm going to have that in. Actor and supporting actress, I'm going to have in. I'll admit, for some reason, I'm kind of envisioning a world where one of those two gets snubbed, and I don't really want that, but I can envision it, but I'm not going to predict snubs here, all right? I don't want that negative energy in my life. I would put them in the top 5. I'm not going to go through every single category it can, but let's just kind of move to the technical. Cinematography should absolutely get it. Probably one of my favorite aspects of this movie is the cinematography. Production design I thought was really good. And some people could probably say this is just fucking Western production design, like it does nothing that interesting. I kind of disagree. I think the production design is really good. The score with Johnny Greenwood is fucking excellent. It should get, I'm hesitant to say it should get in because, I haven't seen a lot of shit here. And Johnny Greenwood has like 2 other scores besides this one coming out with Spencer and not Soggy Bottom anymore, Licorice Pizza. That's a dope ass title. Licorice Pizza. I'm in on that title. Some people don't like it. I'm in on that title. But Johnny Greenwood's score, regardless if it's for this one, he will get nominated. But I do really like the score here. Besides that, I can't really see that much else getting into it. Screenplay, I think, sure. Yeah, it should probably get screenplay. But in terms of technicals, like costumes, I don't really see. It's just that one is actually just some like Western stuff, to be honest. Makeup and hair, not enough to make me put it on the 5 here. Best sound design could happen. Sound design could happen probably. But I guess that's it for the Oscars here. Overall, even though I do really like the movie, and I think a lot of critics do, the audiences, I just can't really envision them liking it that much. I think The Power of the Dog has kind of hurt its Oscar chances a little bit. It's definitely lower. This could end up being Irishman. It could end up being Irishman, where it gets like a decent amount of nomination and just doesn't win anything. I could see that. Maybe that's its fate. Regardless, that doesn't speak to how good a movie is. So to me, The Power of the Dog, like I said, 4 stars. I thought it was good. I'm looking forward to rewatching it here. But it definitely is a more challenging movie for audiences and for me, to be honest. I mean, I'm part of the audience, so yeah, it's for me. I'm not a film critic. So I guess that'll be it. Stay tuned for more TIFF coverage. As when I'm recording this, I am seeing The Humans tomorrow. So that should be pretty exciting here. I am excited for that one. So that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd to keep up with TIFF stuff. And yeah, stay safe. Bye.